In this lesson, we are talking about our inscribed, or what we can call cyclic quadrilaterals, and circumscribed angles. So a quadrilateral that is what's called cyclic or inscribed, sorry, let me fix that real quick, is when the four vertices of the quadrilateral, so the four corners, lie on a circle. So here, if you have this type of quadrilateral, like here in this picture here, then the opposite angles are supplementary. They add up to 180 degrees. And that is only when you have the inscribed. So again, the opposite angles add up to 360. So like here, for example, if this angle is 100 degrees, then this angle is 80 degrees. So again, opposite. So like here, for example, in 1A, we're looking for the measure of angle CFE here and DEF here. So again, because this is inscribed, this angle is supplementary to angle D. So these add up to 180. That's why this angle here is 57 degrees. And so then angle E is opposite from angle C. So these two angles are supplementary and add up to 180, which is why angle E is 85 degrees. Then of course, if you add up all four angles, they must add up to 360 because it's a quadrilateral. So keeping that concept in mind, if you're given variables, if I'm looking for angle GKJ, so GKJ, so in the end, we're looking for this angle here. Well, we got to know what B is. So I can't really do anything here because it's opposites, but we can use angles G and J because these two angles here are opposite and add up to 180. So again, they're not equal to each other. They add up to an 80. So this is 9B from 6B plus 3B plus 45 from 20 plus 25 is equal to 180. So again, they are supplementary, they add up to 180. Now you're just solving your two-step. So subtract the 45, and you've got 9B is equal to 135. Divide by 9, you get B is equal to 15. Now we can plug in 15 to solve for K. 10 times 15 minus 69. That's how you get the angle measure of 81 degrees. So now here, looking for ABC, but talking about now part of the arc. Because if you think about it, if the vertices are on the circle, that means we also have four inscribed angles. So here, for example, I'll start with A. Well, A, I can solve for first because it's opposite from 87. So A has to be 93 degrees because they are supplementary. They add up to 180. So here I've got 93. Now to help me with solving the problem, I'm going to go ahead and get the other opposite angle, even though it's not being asked for just yet. So here, this angle is 102. Now let's start talking about B. Well, if B is here, I notice with the edge of B, we're talking about using the 78 degrees. But 78 degrees is creating this arc here, including the 36. So again, if this is inscribed, what do we do to find the measure of the arc? We double it, right? 78 times 2. So this entire arc here that is being created, including the 36, is 156 degrees. So this whole arc is 156, but we're already given 36, then what do we have to do to find B? Subtract. So that's how we get that B here is 120 degrees, because now they add up to the 156. So B is 120. Now, notice C is another section, but we got to keep going around here to figure out. So I need to now notice what this piece is. Well, here it is creating now part of the 87 degrees, the inscribed angle. But the 87 degrees is creating this entire arc, including the 120. So again, what do we do with inscribed angles? We double it. So 87 times 2 is 174. So that means if this whole arc has to add up to 174, but we already have the 120, what do we then do? Subtract. So this arc here, sorry, just realized I erased part of that 120. So this arc here, therefore, is 54 degrees. So adding up to 170. So if I've got 36, I've got my 120, I've got my 54, I've got 3 pieces out of the 4 of my circle. So what can we then do here to find C? Well, they add up to 360. So I could take these now and subtract from 360. And that's how you get C is 150 degrees. So go ahead and pause the video and try the U-tries on your own. And here we go. So for the first U-try, you're just looking for XYZ, so this angle here, which means you had to subtract 180 and 62. So that's your opposite angles. That's why you get 118 degrees. Then we're looking for the measure of KJM. So we're looking for this angle here, which right now, if you notice, has nothing. So keep that in mind, right? Which means we got to first solve for X. Well, it's opposite. J was opposite from L, but nothing we can do just yet because, again, we need X. So you needed to first use angles K and M. Add them up. So 10X plus 20 is equal to 180. So then when you solve this equation, subtract your 20, divide by 10, you get X is equal to 16. Now we can't do anything yet with angle J, right? First we need angle L. So L is 9/2 times 16. So once you calculate, angle L is 72 degrees. So if I get angle L is 72 degrees, now I can figure out the angle that is supplementary. So that's why here the measure of angle KJM is 108 degrees. Then the last one here, you're looking for the measure of angle CDQ, which was marked, as well as CBQ. Now, notice here that nothing was given to you, the opposite. However, you're given the 2 arcs, and you're given the 2 arcs for a reason. You actually, what I did was here is I started with angle B, because angle B being inscribed, if you create the angle, the 2 chords that create angle B create this arc here, which means angle B, the inscribed angle, creates an arc of 222 degrees from adding up the 2 arcs. So that means now to find angle B, which is inscribed, we now half the arc. So angle B is 111 degrees. Now we can find the measure of angle D because they are supplementary. And angle D is 69 degrees. So now circumscribed angles. A circumscribed angle is an angle outside of the arc, outside the circle, created by 2 tangents here. So here's our picture. But the idea of a circumscribed angle is that if you are given the central angle, the circumscribed angle created by the two tangents, again, these two angles are also supplementary. So again, they share the same arc. They have the same intercepted arc, the central angle and our angle outside. So this circumscribed angle here created by our two tangents, they add up to 180. Again, sharing the same arc with the central angle. Like for example, 1. If I'm looking for the measure of angle FAS, so FAS, again, is a central angle in the center. Notice how angle 44 degrees created by our two tangents here. So these are supplementary. They add up to 180. That's why the measure of angle FAS is 136 degrees. So then here, we're looking for the measure of angle ABC. So we're looking for our circumscribed angle created by the two tangents. Notice creating the same arc as the central angle. ABC here is 4y minus 7. 8y plus 15 is here, the central angle. So again, these two add up to 180. So 12y minus 12 is equal to 180. Now you're just solving a two-step. Add your 12, divide by 12, you get y is equal to 16. Now I can find the measure of angle ABC by plugging back in. 4 times 16 minus 27. That's how you get the measure of angle ABC is 47 degrees. So then here, QV and SV are tangent. QRS, so this angle here, notice that it's our inscribed angle, is 32 degrees. We're going to find the measure of angle QVS, which is here, our inscribed angle. Well, we're starting with an inscribed angle, right? It's on the circle. And if you notice, the two chords that create it also create arc QS, which if you notice, central angle QTS also creates the same arc here, as well as our circumscribed. So they all share QS. So if our inscribed angle is 32 degrees, then that means the arc is not 32, right? Because it's inscribed. Double it. So this is 64 degrees. So if the arc now is 64 degrees, then the central angle is 64 degrees. So now how do we find the circumscribed angle outside sharing the same arc? Remember, they're supplementary, so subtract from 180. That's why here you have 116 degrees. Go ahead and pause the video and try these two U-tries on your own. And so here for the first U-try, you are given that AC is an angle bisector to angle BAD. So here that means if BAC is 53 degrees, then CAD is also 53 degrees. So technically this central angle is 106 degrees. So to find the measure of angle BCD, now you can subtract from 180. And here you should get 74 degrees. Then here you're looking for the value of x. Now, keep in mind, you had a circumscribed angle, so angle A. You have your central angle that share the same arc. However, you're not given the central angle, but you're given the arc. But if you think about it, if the arc is representing 10x minus 14, then the central angle is also 10x minus 14. Because remember, they are equal to each other. They're congruent. So I can set up my equation because these two expressions, therefore, are supplementary. They add up to 180. So 16x minus 12 is equal to 180. And solve your two-step. add 12, divide by 16, and you get x is equal to 12. And that's all we're solving for here in this case.